Getting items listed on eBay quickly and efficiently can be a struggle. Time is money, we all know that. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I list items on eBay so that I can get 20 items up in 1 hour. These tips will help you stay focused with the task at hand and ultimately cut down on your time, giving you a lot more time to spend on other parts of your business. If you're new to my videos, I'm Jason and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple platforms. And I make videos just like this one to show you how I'm running my business. I'd also like to mention that this video is sponsored by Vendoo. Vendoo is an easy-to-use tool that will help you quickly list your items onto multiple platforms in just a minute or two. I started using Vendoo less than a year ago, and it's already resulted in over $40,000 in additional income. Honestly, it's been a game changer. If you'd like to check it out, I'll include a link in the description below. From there, you can register for your free trial to see what you think. All right, now let me show you how I'm able to list up to 20 items an hour on eBay. Now, before I show you exactly how I do it, there are a few things that I need to mention. First, this is assuming that I've already taken photos. I always take photos in batches of 10 to 20 items. This allows me to be more efficient than just taking pics of one item, listing that item on eBay, and then moving on to the second item. Next, I always list similar items in batches as well. For example, if I have shirts and pants to list, I'll group them together. I'll group all of my shirts in one pile, and I'll put all of my pants in another pile. In a second, I'll show you exactly how this saves me a lot of time, but for now, just know that it's important. And lastly, this one goes without saying, but I try to minimize my distractions and keep them from breaking my concentration. Practically speaking, silencing my phone or turning things off that could potentially steal my attention goes a long way into keeping me focused. Okay, now that I've said all that, let me show you. Let's head into an eBay listing. I go to my listings tab. Most of the time, I'm just looking for a recent listing. So I'm just gonna pick this Saks Fifth Avenue. You can see I listed this on 2/16 of 2022. I'm gonna click on the arrow next to it. I'm gonna select Sell Similar. That's gonna bring up a new listing that's gonna populate all the information that was in that one into this new one. Now there's a reason why I'm doing this. I know that some sellers will go out there and find a listing of something that's very similar. So they'll go into eBay, search for an item, and then once they find an item that's very similar to theirs, they'll sell similar to that one. The problem with this is you're basically taking their store policies and the way that they do things and putting it into this new listing. And if you miss anything, it could be detrimental to the sell of that item. So I always go into my own listings and I click Sell Similar. That will then bring all of my store policies into that new listing. For example, whether or not I do free shipping, my handling time. If I have a little store blurb in my description, that will also pull over. So these things will automatically pull in, saving me time from having to either change items or add certain things in later. So right now I want to show you how quickly I can list, and I'm going to start off with this shirt right here. It's a Tommy Bahama corduroy shirt. It's men's size XL tall, so let's get going. Now I will say, before I even go into the listing, I do a couple of things. I do exactly what I just told you. I take note of the brand, the size, and all the descriptors that I'm going to use. So though I already mentioned it, the brand and the size, color is blue, it's got a check pattern, corduroy is a key descriptor. Those are things that I'm going to include in this listing that I think will help sell the item. And next, because I'm a clothing seller, I'm going to go ahead and measure this item. The two measurements I'm going to be doing are the pit to pit, so basically from under one armpit to the other side, and then the length, which will be from the bottom of the collar all the way down to the bottom of the shirt on the back side. So I went ahead and measured, and the measurements came out to pit 26 inches, length 34 inches. Now I take note of all those things before I even get into the listing, and that helps me go really quickly. So let's go back to the computer. I've got my title here, I'm going to delete that out. And I always come in and put in the brand. And then I finish it by putting in descriptors. So obviously long sleeve, cotton, blue, check, things like that. And then next I'm going to go ahead and select this title and copy it. I'm not going to do anything with it right now, but I'm just going to copy it before I move down the page. Then I'm going to come in here and put the bin that I'm going to put this in. And right now I'm working on bin E3 and I'm filling that bin. And today's date is 3/16/2022. I'm going to change the category to casual button downs. Now I'm going to select the category in my store it's in, men's shirts. It's not new with tags, it's pre-owned, in excellent condition. Scrolling down, I'm going to delete all of these photos from the last item. And you can see it automatically populates a bunch of different descriptors here. I glance over them and just check the ones that are correct. And all but one. I'm not going to fill that one in because it's not from the Bahamas. Now this is an XL tall, so my size type is going to be big and tall, and I'm going to go ahead and select XL tall. For some reason I have an issue with this filling in the color on blue, but that's not a big deal. And then next I'm just going to fill in as many of these as possible. You never know what a buyer is searching for, and so I want to make sure to get all of these specific categories filled in. And then scrolling down, you can see from the last listing that it populated my title in here with the measurements and new with tags. What I'm going to do is leave most of this in here. So I've already copied my title. I'm going to paste that there over the last one. I'm going to remove new with tags because this one is not. And I'm going to fill in my measurements. So now I've got a new description. I always paste the title into the description just to give the buyer another place to see it in case they miss something, size, or maybe some of the descriptors in the original title. And then I'm going to scroll down and choose a price. And this is the reason why I did sell similar on my own item. If you look at this part below, it's going to automatically bring in what my store policies are. So I do offer returns, seller paid if it's domestic, and I do international returns as well, as long as the buyer pays. So I don't have to change anything there. I want to keep this require immediate payment with buy it now. And then for most of my items, because I'm a clothing seller, I only have to really change this if it's priority and it's not. A lot of items I list are first class. So we're going to leave that at $6. Handling time stays the same. And I'm going to go ahead and just scroll down to promoted. I'm going to quickly change that to the ad rate and save as draft. Now I've saved that as a draft, and you may be wondering, well, what about your photos? As I said before, I've already taken the photos. You can see them right there. And rather than transfer to my computer, which I used to do, I just leave them on my phone. Since I just saved that as a draft, I can now go into my phone in the eBay app and add those photos real quick and then just list it. And boom, we're all listed and set. And that's honestly how quickly it takes me to list an item. Now that takes me only about 2 to 3 minutes to do, if not less, per item. Of course, in this video, it took a little longer because I'm explaining what I'm doing as I go. But when I get into a routine, I can quickly just scroll down, fill in what I need to do, and away I go. And here's the part where I mentioned earlier that it's important to list your items grouped similarly together. So if I were working on shirts now, I just did this Tommy Bahama shirt behind me. Now I would grab my second shirt and work on that. When you have similar items, you don't have to change a lot in the listing. You can just make minor tweaks and edits, add a few pictures, and you're done. So let's say I was going to start on item number 2 in this batch. I would now come to my listings and find that listing that I just did. Tommy Bahama corduroy button-up shirt, here we go. I'm going to sell similar on that item. And it's going to automatically fill in everything that I just did. Now the great thing with the second one is I don't need to change the SKU because I'm still working on bin E3. And it's still obviously the same date, 3/16/2022. And if I'm listing similar items like button downs, I don't have to change the category. I don't have to change the store category. I don't usually have to change the condition. All I have to do is take out these photos and then fill in the rest. It's very easy. Now, one minor disclaimer here, if you're new to reselling or you're selling in a category that you're not as familiar with, it's gonna take some time. Occasionally I get items that aren't my typical bread and butter items. And it does take me time to research to know how much to price at, or to even research to know how do I list this? What descriptors do I use? And that's okay. The goal at the beginning shouldn't be to hit a certain amount of items per hour, but really just to see that over time you're getting faster and better at what you're doing. And if you're doing the same things over and over, you will get quicker with listing. So if you're a new reseller, don't get discouraged. You'll pick it up as time goes on. And then lastly, in the example before, I was talking to you about listing shirts and pants. If I wanted to switch and move into listing pants or shorts now, I could quickly do that and just change a few minor tweaks in the next listing and cater the measurements more to what those items are. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's super easy. So those are the techniques that I use to efficiently list items on eBay. Just know that the way that I've shown you isn't the only way to be efficient. But for those of you that are looking for pointers, and I'm assuming that if you're watching this video, you are, this will help you drastically cut down on time spent. If you have any questions about things that I've shown you in this video, Leave a comment below and I'll do my best to get back to you as quickly as I can. And if you're a reseller that has some helpful suggestions on how you save time when you're listing, feel free to comment as well. Thanks for tuning into this video today, and I hope that it helped you. Have a great day.